Good Shabbos once again. At Kabbalat Shabbat, we reflect on the week that is drawing to a close. We say a psalm for each day of the week, culminating in the psalm for Shabbat. And I must say that my week this week has been consumed by images of Afghanistan, where I was privileged to spend Hanukkah on two separate tours in Kandahar, in Bagram, and at an obscure forward operating base on the Pakistani border. I think about singing, laughing, and telling stories with soldiers for hour upon end, and disseminating Hanukkah cards made by our own Temple Chai religious school students to them. I recall Sergeant Secord saying, "I didn't realize how much I was longing to connect with my people." When I first received the invitation to make this journey, my daughter Jessie was in her first year at Kenyon College in Ohio. So before I said yes to the Department of Defense, I called her to ask how would she feel if I was not home for her winter break. And her reply, "They need you more than I do." That's the answer of every military family who sacrificed time with their loved ones in service of the United States of America. I'm thinking about the naive vision of bringing the blessings of democracy and freedom to the people of Afghanistan. Hanukkah, the celebration of freedom of religious expression, the only Jewish holiday that celebrates a military victory. What could have been a more meaningful time to make this journey? We even called it Operation Enduring Freedom. Let me say that again, enduring freedom. I'm thinking about sitting in a C-130 at that Koppell airport. My only care, when the heck would Senator John Kerry and his entourage finally arrive so that we could take off? No one was so desperate that they were chasing after the plane, risking their lives to be able to board that flight. What must our trusted allies think of our abandoning them in their moment of greatest need? Blood and treasure. Blood and treasure. Blood and treasure. I think that every veteran of Afghanistan is nurturing a broken heart at this moment, wondering for what. I'm so grateful to my colleague, Rabbi Irv Elson, who shared these words written by Jen Sarno of the Semper Fi Fund. To all my OEF friends, please know that your service in Afghanistan over the past 20 years is invaluable. Your service to the freedoms of the Afghanistan people and to our own countrymen is valuable beyond estimation. Your service is not defined by policy, but by a representation of your heart and soul, protecting those that cannot protect themselves. Please know your service was valuable, and please do a buddy check today. And I'm thinking about the women, the girls. What is to become of their hopes and dreams? The right to an education, to be proud of their bodies and what they choose to wear, to make their own decisions about whether to marry and to fall in love with whomever they select. I fear for their future. Finally, I'm haunted by the death of Private Jason Hassanauer, whose memorial ceremony I attended in Kandahar. There are many military traditions which are so moving. At the service, one of his friends talked about how they used to play rock, paper, scissors in the dining facility, the DFAC, to see who had to get up and get the next round of sodas. Another brutal reminder of the youth of these soldiers. After the prayers, after the speakers and scriptural readings, the last roll call. From the rear of the sanctuary, the first sergeant calls the name of a few soldiers, and they stand up and reply, "Here, First Sergeant." Sergeant Smith, "Here, First Sergeant." Lieutenant Jones, "Here, First Sergeant," like that. Then they call the name of the soldier to whom we pay tribute. Private Hassanauer. Silence. Private Jason Hassanauer. Silence. Private Jason Daniel Hassanauer. Silence. A 21 gun salute and taps. It's not easy to keep a stiff upper lip, and it was barely manageable even writing about it. After this, we file by the front of the room and render a final salute to the display, which includes his boots, his helmet, his dog tag, and his weapon. The weapon stands in the boots, the dog tags hang off of that, and the helmet, or in this case, the red beret, because he was Special Forces, sits on top of the weapon. This week for me feels like taps for Afghanistan. All of our tremendous gratitude to Gabriel Kovac from the Phoenix Symphony and a longtime friend of Temple Chai for that moving rendition.